It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? They're drinking the scissor! And the scissor's gonna get ya! I am Billy at _Swan_man on Twitter, repping for the Army of Darkness show! Download all of that stuff on iTunes or something. Podcast. Ugh. How did you get it here? Just download it some more. Just tell your mama. Mama loves it. I love your mom. It's Tuesday, April 16th. Motherfucking yesterday was tax day, so all the worthless dirtballs were like, hey, no, taxes are bad. Way to be late to the party, you fucks. Come on now, with the butt. What's, you knew taxes were coming. You know this day well in advance. I don't do the last minute tax thing, but that's because I'm, broke as fuck and I like to check at the end. Or at least not to owe. I like to know either way in January or whenever, February, maybe March. I like to know whether or not I'm truly butt-fucked from the go or not. None of this waiting. I guess you have to accrue funds for owing. Just don't owe. Pay your fair share, as Erwin R. Scheister would say. Didn't get to bring that up. I was so hyped. Glad to see him. My tail was wagging. Lipstick was out. It was amazing. How are you? I'm swell. April 16th has sentimental value to Billy. That's me! 9 years ago was one of the best days ever and raised the bar for awesome times for Billy. Now, not to say that bar hasn't been met or exceeded multiple times, because being an adult is a lot of fucking fun. Don't let them fool you. You get to do shit on your own, ice cream every day, all day. That's why I'm fat and toothless. Diabetes claimed my sight. That's why I do podcasts. But no, seriously. This was the first, what was so great about it was this was the first day, April 16th, 2004, where it was all coming up Swan Man by Swan Man's very own hand. No, intermingling from the peeps. Not in a bad way, It's just, this was my game. This was one of my first forays into doing shit on my own and having it work out as planned. It wouldn't be the last, but it is one of the rare exceptions where everything was coming up with the feeling of accomplishment that I did it on my own in both professionally, air quotes, because I was a senior in high school, so there's not much to do professionally, but sure, career-wise, goal-wise, on a professional level, and on a personal level, too. Everything just worked. And on a fanboy level, it was a day of days. By the end of the night, I felt, for the first time, invincible by my, again, by my hand, by my design, not by anyone else's. Good stuff. What is so great about April 16th? Yeah, we're going to do this on May 19th as well, but that's a shitty wrestling thing, so it'll be fun! Fun! I don't know when that falls, so maybe we won't. May 19th, it's happening again! April 16th, 2004, Billy is a senior. Senior on that ass in George Rogers Clark High School in Winchester. Shit's rolling around. Anyway. I am a senior, and in his spring, obviously, 2004, it's the end of high school for Billy. And in junior year, I'd already been accepted into UK, and by then I do believe that I had taken the orientation day. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. I was definitely going to UK, and I was definitely eyeballing the College of Fine Arts at UK. So that was cool. I was already enrolled. It was dope. At this time, also, we were ramping up production for the senior play, which, was the rite of passage for all those that wished to do the dramatic arts. Because I already pissed off and pissed away all other extracurricular activities, at least assigned with school, because of this, that, and bacon fat. Didn't like band because I didn't want to, do the thing over the summer with the fucking camp. Didn't like the people in it either. In a different way from, sports, the football end, I didn't like the band kids for an entirely different yet more obnoxious reason. And that paid dividends in the future. So I see you trash. But I'm still tight with a lot of dudes that were in bands, that I entertained, that played in my pit, on my stage, in my arena, which was the theater. Theater was my one big thing in high school that I really excelled at. I had done academic team, but fell out, not in high school because it didn't exist. I wanted to do wrestling team in high school, didn't exist. So, I was the kid without a... I was kind of, the gothic emo before emo was cool, angry, all-black, motorcycle boot-wearing motherfucker that... badass! The black leather coat, the Metallica CDs, because CDs is how we got music into school. Learning, my love for Metallica and other bands through Garage Inc., the fine double album, that, they show their love of the new wave of British heavy metal, which opened doors for Billy and VH1 and stuff. Billy didn't have a place so much in the scheme of things, at least for extracurricular razzmatazz, let alone, certainly wasn't getting any dates at the time, but I was doing my backyard wrestling thing, sort of, but officially through school, no, not at all. But I was in drama class, and that's when I butthurt the earth, because then it was the first time I was cast, was sophomore year, when I stole a role, just by being great. And that was a good feeling on its own, because I undercut some fucker that was a shitty actor anyway, and he had a rat tail? What the fuck? Like a full-length rat tail, like a Padawan. I'm getting off the thing because it was how we did it. It was how we honed our skills in high school, is that as a sophomore, of course, your chorus, maybe some speaking lines, and it was unheard of for a sophomore, me, to have a part that actually was a part with a name, and not just chorus. I might be raising that bar, of course, junior year, we did Grease, because everybody fucking does Grease, and I had, character made for me so that we could fit more actors in and stuff, plus, we had a lot of chicks, we had to get, a dude for every girl, a girl for every boy, and so I filled a bizarre gap that, retcon, I was a retcon character. I delivered all the lines Rat Tail Boy sang. At this point, Booze and other, friendly friends in college hadn't opened me up to the world of me singing, because I was shy. I could do the acting thing, but I was still coming into my own as far as being the asswipe that could sing. So we would see the grade levels rise up. As I said, it would be unheard of for an underclassman to get a really high up role in theater. Also, thanks to my work on Grease with the choreographer who would be the director the next year, I was precast. He liked my work so much and my, dedication, for lack of a better word, that this was the day that we got everyone was cast, but everything was informal. We didn't post the cast list yet. I do believe April 16th, a Friday, 2004, was the day, I do believe, I could be wrong, but it still helps. Why did he feel on top of the world? This is a big reason. I was precast, and he said, that's the day he announced, of course, Billy will be doing the lead today. Billy will be doing the lead for this show. We've decided the show. Here we go. I was on top of the world, and I had so much anticipation for, that was the first step. The confidence that I could hold a show and do the acting thing for the work, and have the band kids in the pit there supporting me, and, that was the goal, is to make them laugh, and whenever I could get a laugh out of them, I knew I was doing well. Always getting laughs out of those motherfuckers. Pow! That's later. That's Schoolhouse Rock. That's more for the, the drama college pods. So I was on top of the world with that, professionally. For lack of a better word. I had been waiting for a solid Punisher film. I loved Dolph Lundgren's Punisher, and fresh off of Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, no, Spider-Man 2 hadn't come out yet. Fresh off of Spider-Man and X-Men, Make Mine Marvel, was the moniker, because fucking nothing else was going on with DC for sure, as everybody knows. But, the groundwork had been laid. Blade had come out, X-Men, Spider-Man, I believe X2 had come out and shook the world by its foundation that, the superhero sequel can knock the fuck out of the first one and raise the bar in a very Wrath of Khan type way. And it did! The Punisher was next in line. And so, in the fledgling era of Flash-based viral videos, the website for that was, very interesting, and it actually got me into collecting trades in anticipation, because I didn't want to look like a fool. This is also true for X2, when I started reading the Wolverine omnibuses as a senior, and just starting to pick up Marvel books all over the place. Started introducing me to the world of, expanded mythos, and picking up good books versus bad books and so forth, but learning, becoming the man that I am today. This was the beginning. This was the primordial goo where I became basically who I am in a more blatant and independent fashion. So hell yeah, I was reading Garth Ennis, Welcome Back Frank, which the movie was supposedly and was billed as being based off of. So anticipation was high because I fucking dug what Garth Ennis was putting down. I was picking it up. Sexy, and I was introduced to the world of Garth Ennis. I'd heard about Preacher and Toy Mags and other nerd fare, but this was my exposure to his writing proper. And of course, the rest is history on that end. Hell yeah, this movie is coming out on April 16th. I had a date with my buddy Andrew. We were going, because he knew, because I didn't have a girlfriend. But that was the thing. During the whole announcement of Billy is the lead, boom, Alpha, I was on a surge and adrenaline high of self-confidence. As a result, I actually asked the girl out. I had to pick on the young ones because everyone else, I don't know. Oh, I already asked, no, not the same day, but I already asked one, girl out almost very brazenly for, at me at the time. Like, it's no big deal now, probably, maybe, I don't know. He's still in there. The gooey side in me is still, like a Cadbury egg. There's still the gooey, not very confident side of me that still exists. It's just not as, there's too much man muscle over it. Now, hell yeah, and too much experience has whittled that away a bit, but it's still in there. It was that's right, I was thinking of all this story and thinking about, the transformative nature of it. How necessary this day was, because I didn't have any other, truly, no moments like this, no days like this where everything was coming up Swan Man. It was my George McFly moment for the alternate timeline, because I'm so successful in dashing as I speak to you. Podcast from space! This is my George McFly moment, where I, instead of, I don't know, I'm afraid of rejection, instead of all that shit, I pissed it right away. And, grabbed it by the huevos for one of the first times in my life. I was taking life by the throat and balls and squeeze to get what I, wanted. Not taking what I wanted, well, sort of. You get the point. It's there to be nothing but Billy and let Billy be all up on you. And if you didn't like it, well, okay. Unless, you're an asshole, then fuck you. But this was the way, years of high school and years of modeling and molding had led to this showdown. And it was, the end of school, so, I had very little to lose. I was like, fuck it doesn't matter. I wanted a date for prom. I had asked one girl that looked like unstirred chocolate milk. It's not racist. It's what she looked like. I don't know if it was Villago or whatever. But I looked beyond that, man. We talked in home ec. We were very friendly. So I was like, well, hey, why don't you just go with me? And she was like, oh. She gave me that, Billy, you're awesome, but, fuck you. It's like, and so, but, I was able to dirt off my shoulder, and, again, later, she became my advocate for, I don't understand the psychology of teen girls. I don't understand the psychology of women, because it's scary. It makes me sad sometimes. Because they got a lot of shit to put up with, to be fair. Like, that's the natural fucking, if I had to deal with half the shit they did, I would have a much more complex, social psychology as well. Irregardless. No, I actually asked, mousy type, didn't know her age until later, which would be scandalous if I wasn't so young in school as well. I was 17, she 15 going on 16, so I was like, ooh, freshman, I was a senior. But I was like, hey, she did the whole aw shucks thing, and she was in the play, and I was like, yeah, why not? It's not like she was my first choice. Oh! But it might work as a silver medal. Somebody go to the fucking prom with me! That was the thing. And so I did ask her, and she did indeed, even did the traditional girly, like, tuck, giggle, yes thing, which was fun for Billy, because Billy hadn't had those experiences. And Billy wanted, a very basic, and she was bland, but a very basic, experience in teenage romance. Because wasn't getting any HJs at church, wasn't getting any HJs in the bathroom, didn't go to church, wasn't getting no HJs, no HJs, no beaches, no nothing, nobody. Every time we went to the band makeout parties, I was the odd fish there that was not serious enough about fucking music, and yet too serious about film. Square peg, round hole, bro. I just didn't fit with these folk. They liked Halo too much. Rush. Fuck Rush. I'm tired of... That was the thing. If you were in band and band kids in general, fucking telling me about Neil Peart and shit. I don't fucking care. I understand we have radio. And yes, the spirit of radio plays every fucking day. Sometimes on 2 stations at the same time. So introducing me to Rush is not exactly a mind-blowing experience. It just didn't fit. But on this day, it worked. The girl said yes. Billy was the lead in the senior play, and The Punisher was on tonight. Fuck Kill Bill Volume 2, which made more money than it, of course. I didn't think the films needed to be spread out, and I was honestly a little mad that QT had divided his very good film into 2 parts just to fucking undercut my Punisher movie. Like, this was a moment for me. Punisher on film was going to be huge, and it was. I mean, I'm talking about and celebrating an anniversary of it 9 years later about it. Not so much Kill Bill, am I? But I was like, that motherfucker, he has to undercut my Punisher movie. Now the box office is going to suck, and it did. I mean, it's not the worst. It came in at number 2 at like 16.8 million. Something like that. We went to the theater, and I was dressed in my homemade Punisher shirt because no one had made it yet, so I printed out the silk screen, and I had to edit it so it looked distressed on fucking paint. And I did an okay job. I was doing the highlights. I had a high-res pic for the time of the Tom Jane skull, so I colored it just right and ironed it on to a nice tight black t-shirt. I was, losing weight with Atkins, but I wasn't exactly muscular, but not like today. Irrelevant. But I was very thin, I was small. I was young, I was limber, I was awesome. That weird ticket taker girl I probably should have asked out, but I didn't have a car on my own. Irrelevant. I think Mean Girls came out the same night because there was cutouts and stuff, and so I was hitting on the Lacey Chabert cutout with her tight sweater, yeah! Short skirt! Didn't watch the movie until 6 years later or something. And that movie's grown, as you can tell. That movie's grown legs. It's survived done quite well for itself over the past 9 years. It's a cult hit. It's sort of like The Punisher. I mean, not many people are like, hey, let's go watch 2004 Punisher. Unless, I'm in the room, and it's usually me singing, because I'm an idiot. But on this day, I'm walking with confidence. I had, I think I had Steak and Shake, which was delicious and not in my area at the time. So I was like, yeah, Steak and Shake. And then we go, and I'm high on the thing, and I'm talking about, the potent possibilities with my friend about, what this girl that I could go on a date with. What are the possibilities? College is coming up, and I'm clearly going to graduate, and I'm going to be the lead in the play, and this is my opportunity. This is entirely my moment to shine. And we watched the film, and it had an impact on me, but it was an odd impact because it wasn't as good as I thought it should have been, and yet it was good. It has moments. It's a very cheesy throwback, one-shot version of The Punisher. And I would learn that later as I delve deeper into the Punisher's history, because yes, the scheme that he makes up and the flame skull at the end of the movie, that is all very one-shot. Punisher sold on like the big oversized mags. And I had collected a couple of those and read them. I was like, holy shit, okay, yeah. Nothing like Welcome Back Frank, really, except for a few character choices, but the end of the night was so pregnant with possibility. I was with, one of my best friends, and you just get to look out and stare at that spring sky, man, and wonder what it holds for you. And 9 years later, it was alright. I have that memory. And the future did hold some good shit and some great shit. Of course, there's a bunch of Buzz Killingtons that, the next day or the next week or whatever. She didn't go to prom with me, but she was my steady, for lack of a better word, for a little while until, college and shit, and that shit got weird. And The Punisher didn't age well, but there's a director's cut for that. And college went fucking great, and I made great friends, and that I hold to this day, and great networking, and learned a lot of lessons. But, still need to graduate that one. So it goes. But I won't forget that day, because of the possibility for a naive boy. That is too heartfelt. That's enough for me. That's all there is. There is no more. Hope you enjoyed it. I am Billy at the _swan_man on Twitter, repping for the Army of Snarkness podcast. Fuck, where's the button?